What's going on, everybody? This is Paul, your hip hop relationship and recovery coach. And I'm joyfully, humbly, and gladly bringing to you again another episode of Kick Your Butt Out. As usual, I can't go anywhere before I start off saying what needs to be said. And that is, if you looking for a butt, man, woman, child, it's going to always be easy to find one. It's just that simple. So, thank you all so much for joining in with me. Thank you to you subscribers. Please continue to subscribe, post, comment, share, like. And again, let's have some conversations around some of these topics because, again, these topics are designed to help us to move whatever the butt is out of our way so that we can walk in the greatness that God has called each and every one of us to. That's the purpose of these podcasts. So again, thank you all so much. Today's podcast was inspired by a couple of different instances that I have come across, a couple of different situations, a few different people that I've come across. And even in a conversation that I had today, that's one of the reasons why I'm going ahead and taping this today, because one of the conversations that I had today was confirmation and speaking to the title of today's podcast and the reason why this has to be brought to the forefront, talked about, and seeing what we could do to change this. So today's title of Kick Your Butt Out is called, But I Have to Be Strong For. What I mean by that is, and many of you all can attest to this, you have people all over the world, whether it's in our own households or on television or even us, that uses this statement, but I have to be strong for this. I have to be strong for that. I have to be strong for him. I have to be strong for her. I have to be strong. And let me say this. There's absolutely nothing wrong, right, with being strong or strong for. Here's the problem with that. And that's why I want to talk about this today. The problem is, more often than not, the people who use that statement that I have to be strong for this or them or they, it's usually at our expense. What I mean by that is the people who are being strong, it usually costs them more to be strong for the person that they're being strong for. And it usually causes the person or the people that they're being strong for absolutely nothing. Excuse me. And that's where this is unhealthy at. So again, today's title of Kick Your Butt Out is, But I Have to Be Strong For. And it brings me to my first example that I want to use. A television show that used to come on, it's in syndication right now, it still comes on. It was filmed in Chicago in the 1970s in the Cabrini Green Projects. The name of the television show was called Good Times. It was a show about a family, two parents, mother, father. They had 3 children. They were poor, living in the projects of Cabrini Green in Chicago, and they were a family that tried to always do the right thing and kept coming up short. Take one step forward, 4 steps back. This was the story of their lives in this particular sitcom. And a lot of it fell on the fact that the dad was trying to do what dads is supposed to do. And again, he kept falling backwards. In that situation, and in all of those situations, the mother was the one who was always being stronger for, who was always the cooler head that prevailed, who was always the voice of reason, who was always the one that carried the weight of saying, let's calm this thing down. Let's look at this thing at a different angle, from a different perspective. Let's not do that. Let's do this. She was the one that was the strong for in every last one of the episodes or the situations that they faced, right? And this is a television show. Let me say this, like I said, but it has so much significance to I have to be strong for. So it came to a couple of episodes where the father had passed away for whatever reason. I don't even remember, but he had passed away, and the family spent time celebrating him, and having what we call a repast over at their house, and where family and friends came over and remembered him and all of these things, and they ate. And this is what's pretty much normal after funerals. So after the repast was over and everyone had left, the mother was cleaning up the house, and she had gotten to this punch bowl that she was about to put up. She, cleaned it out, and she's about to put the thing up, and she walked into the kitchen, and she raised that thing over the top of her head and slammed it to the ground and screamed, "Damn, damn, damn." If you look at that episode, if you hear memes and all those kind of things, they actually use that from a funny and jokingly standpoint. But I want to make it serious, because in that moment, because mom had to be strong for all the time and didn't allow herself to feel, didn't allow herself to be weak, didn't allow herself to have these conversations where she said, hey, listen, right now I'm not strong. Right now I need you to be strong. Because she didn't do that, she exploded, and she shattered this punch bowl. And a lot of times in our lives, when we are always being strong for, many times when we finally let this thing out, we explode, we break, stuff happens. And it's always not healthy for us, the person who is being strong for. It's always not healthy for them. And I wanted to point that out because so many of us in our lives feel like we're being weak if we tell someone that we're not strong today. When the actuality of it is, that's what makes you stronger. When you tell someone, today I'm weak. Today I can't be strong for. Today I have to be strong for me. Today I have to ask you to be strong for you with me, and not be strong for you while you be weak. Some of the times we have to do that in order for us to keep ourselves healthy in these processes. Here's another situation. Now, this is a real situation. My first mother-in-law, she was a very present and important part of my life for many years, a minimum of 25. A wonderful woman, was my second mother. She will always be my mother-in-law. She will always be have a special place in my heart, because she was a wonderful woman. All of the years that I've known that woman, all of the years that I was around that woman, she was being strong for other people. I never saw her give to herself. I never saw her be strong for herself. I never saw her be strong enough to tell somebody, right now I'm weak. Even in her sickness, she had developed health issues in the midst of being stronger for her. And she still wouldn't allow herself to feel a sense of weakness and sit down. She still wouldn't allow herself to feel like, or to say, okay, it's time for you to be strong. Or I'm being strong by knowing, I'm being strong, watch this, y'all. I'm being strong by knowing and accepting that right now I'm not strong enough to do this. You have to do it, and allow me to do some self-care. For all of the years that I saw that lady, this was her daily routine. Daily routine. She worked third shift. She worked the night shift. So she'd get off work at 7 o'clock in the morning. She'd go to the grocery store, buy food, come home, clean up the house, cook the food, feed the kids. And I'm talking about her kids, her grandkids, us. I was a part of that mess. Let me tell you this. I was a part of not allowing her to be weak enough to be strong, or be strong enough to be weak, should I say. I was a part of that myself. I'm full-heartedly or wholeheartedly accepting the role that I played in it, because I played a role in that. But anyway, back to the point. It would be many days that she would have a cooking spoon in one hand and a baby in the other, getting kids off to school, getting babies off to daycare, and on Wednesdays, because she was an avid church goer. She's definitely one of those. So for all of you all who are listening to this podcast who don't believe in God, it has been said many times where if there is a heaven, this person is going because of the heart that person had. Well, she's one of those people. I know she's in heaven. Anyway, so speaking about church, she get off work Wednesday morning. Church is at Wednesday night. She get off church Wednesday morning, come home, cook, clean, go to the grocery store, buy the food, get the dinner prepared, go to church, go to the church service, do some cleaning at the church. That's why I always talk about the same 3 old ladies who clean up the church. She was one of the old ladies, and she wasn't even old. Let me say that. So anyway, she cleaned up the church, come home, and then get ready to go to work. She did this weekly, till she got to a point that she was being strong, so strong for everybody else and not herself, that she developed health issues, which caused her to have to quit her job just before she was eligible to retire and have a pension. Just before she was eligible to retire and be able to collect a pension. And so she still had to make ends meet in the name of being strong for her. Eventually, my mother-in-law, because of health issues, she ended up passing away. And I'm so sorry that she's gone, because she made a difference in this world and in the lives of many of us who crossed her path, or whose paths she crossed. And I'm saying, in the name of being strong for everyone else, it harmed her. In the name of always feeling like I had to be strong for everyone else, she went to what I would say as an early grave. Again, people, I'm saying, I'm not telling you that it's wrong to be strong for other people. Yes, because sometimes people need somebody to be strong in their weakness. Yes, but me being strong or someone else being strong doesn't mean that my strength has to carry you all of your life. at some point, you're going to have to be strong for you. At some point, I may need you to be strong for me. And so, just like the television episode, the woman ended up busting. She exploded because she wasn't allowing herself to be strong for her or weak enough to say, I just can't do this right now. And doing some self-care, the same thing with my mother-in-law, which brings me to the reason why I decided to do this particular podcast. I watched the women's Final Four college basketball tournament. It was phenomenal. You women did a wonderful job. And also the young men. But I was watching ESPN or Sports Center, one of the two, and Sports Center on ESPN. And they were interviewing the women's LSU basketball team. They had just lost the Final Four game to Iowa and Caitlin Clark. And so they had these three young ladies that they were interviewing. One of the young ladies said, I don't remember her name, but she talked about this one particular player who was pretty much the heart of their team, whose name is Angel Reese. Thank you so much, Angel Reese. You playing for Chicago, my home team. We're going to be winners again. Thank you so much. But she had referred to Angel Reese, and she said, she's always strong for us. She's never let us see her sweat. She's always there, this, that, and the other for us. So she was basically saying the character that she's carrying for us, you can't take anything away from her, even though we lost in the Final Four and didn't make it back to the championship. And in that moment, Angel Reese broke. She broke. And she broke down crying. And she said it herself. She said, I've been through so much over this last year. I've been threatened. I had death threats. I've been talked about. I've been ridiculed. I've had some personal issues and tragedies and all of these things go on in my private life. Many trials and tribulations. She said all of these things happened for me after I won the championship last year, because LSU Tigers won the women's championship last year. She said, after I had won the championship, all of these things happened to me. And she said, but I couldn't let them see me sweat. I had to be there for them. No, you don't. No, you didn't. I'm going to say that again. No, you don't, Angel. And no, you didn't. Now, it's a good thing that you do have a capacity or a mind or a spirit of being strong. That's good. But Angel and everybody who listening to this podcast, sometimes being strong is saying right now I'm weak. Sometimes being strong for says sometimes I need you to be strong for me. Sometimes being strong for says that, okay, I'll be strong for you, with you, being strong for you too. We have to do this thing together. And sometimes I need to sit down and do some self-care and ask somebody to be strong for me. And part of being strong for you is allowing yourself to feel, allowing yourself, yes, I need to cry right now. Yes, I need to scream right now. Yes, I need to shout right now. Yes, I need to vent right now. Yes, I need to let some stuff out right now. Allow you. That's what being strong for is about. The Apostle Paul talks about it in the Corinthians, where he says, when I'm weak, then I'm strong. He was a man who wrote 2/3 of the New Testament of the Bible, was a scholar, was a man who played a big role in what the church is today. He was very instrumental in what we call the church of today. He was very instrumental in the Bible that we read and study today. Yet that same man Say, right now I'm weak. And that's what we have to learn how to do. Being strong doesn't mean that you got to be too tough, Tony, all of the time. It does not mean that, people. Sometimes being strong means right now I'm weak. Right now I need help. Right now I need to cry. Right now I need you. Sometimes being strong means you have to do that too. So people, take what I'm talking about today and incorporate and internalize that into your lives. Because you don't have to be strong for everybody all of the time. It's like I said, more often than not, when we are strong for everybody all of the time, it's costing us everything and them nothing. And it's just not the way it's supposed to be. So please, everybody who's listening to this podcast, let's have some conversations around this subject matter that I just talked about. Because I don't need you to explode. You don't need you to explode. Sometimes that explosion means we're jumping off a bridge. Sometimes that explosion means we're blowing our brains out. Sometimes that explosion means we have killed the entire family, then killed ourselves. Sometimes that explosion means that people end up overdosing or becoming addicted to drugs and alcohol and all sorts of detriments. Sometimes that explosion is going to put us in a place and in a position where we can't come back from. So let's have these conversations around this topic. Please, everybody. This is my time. I love you all so much. I do this because I love people and I love life. So let's talk about this. Let's share. Let's comment. Let's repost. Let's bring people in that you know who are being strong for at their expense. Let's bring people in who you know need to learn how to be strong. Let's bring people in who you know is weak or needs to be weak so that we together can strengthen one another. This is Paul, your hip hop relationship and recovery coach. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Before I go, I'm going to say it again. If you looking for a butt, it's going to always be easy to find one. Please hear that. God bless you all. Be well. Do the next right thing, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Thank you.